have had quite a lot of experience in product already, more than 10 years, and not only in digital product but also in physical product. I was working in 2 Berlin startups, and one of them was producing physical mini labs to test vitamin levels and mineral levels. So that's quite refreshing to work on a product that you can actually touch. And for the 10 years, I'm trying to introduce product approach in how our development teams, Scrum teams work, in my work, in the work of our designers, UX researchers, QAs. So what I'm going to share today is the things that I have learned over those years, some best practices that I have seen work in my teams, and helped build the products, the many products that I encountered on my journey. All right, so agenda. I will be talking about 4 types of user interviews. I don't know if you ever heard about this type of division. So it's not necessarily like that popular, but I think it's very helpful and it works quite well. So I'll be talking about customer interview, about problem interview, solution interview, and optimization interview. If you're too bored, you can always jump with questions. If you have something to say, share a story or some insight, please feel free to add your comments, to just raise your hand, and we will also try to incorporate your voice into this session. And we will end this session with key takeaways. So this is the ever-present question that product people or engineering teams face. What next can we build for the users, right? So here the product manager is thinking, okay, what new feature can we add to our next phone? And he's thinking, oh, I know, more 14 cameras, right? And who is there, the lonely one, jumping and trying to give some feedback? It's the user, of course. The user who is sharing real insights. He needs more battery life, more storage, and more privacy. But he is rarely heard. How many of you conduct user interviews on a regular basis? There are some people like that. There are some living examples of people who conduct user interviews. You are quite. It's quite rare. It's quite rare in product world. Many people claim this, right? So we did several rounds of user interviews, but were they really users, right? They are sometimes CEOs, prezesy in Polish, right? Or they are stakeholders, right? And it also happens in the company when I work. So I had to also overcome this challenge and make people realize who users really are. Okay, so who can tell me what user interviews are for? Why conduct them at all? Why waste time and not just code?
Because the product is for them.
Wow, yes. The product is really for the users, yes. But I think we know better than the users, right? Haven't you heard this before? I think we understand the users better than they understand themselves. Of course, I'm joking. So what do we need user interviews for? To understand what? Their perspective, their needs, their motivations, the context that they are using, the problems, yes, the context they are using, they're going to use the solution in, right? Because it changes a lot. And why is it important for the development team to know the context, the motivations, the pains?
Because they can figure out a faster way.
A faster way, exactly. They can figure out a faster way, and they can also build empathy, right? So they really understand who they are building for. Right. And who should be in charge of user interviews? UX researchers, yes. Confirmed, yes. Okay. Designers, and who else? Product managers, yes. I think they should be involved too. Product owners, product managers, head of product too. But also, who can be a part, at least a part of some interviews? Developers, yes. Yeah, engineers, developers. They do not have to be in charge. They do not have to own the process, right? But from time to time, it's good that they conduct, that they are the second person, the scribe, and they listen to the users from time to time.
What about QA?
They could do it too, if they are smart and willing. Yes, everyone on the team, I would say, right? All the roles that are actually involved in creating the product for the users should be there. All right. Yes. So this is also the problem of who will be conducting, right? The user interviews, and here the designer is worried that everything will fall on their arms. All right. This is the most important slide for today, so everyone who is bored can go now after this slide. What is the purpose of your interview? This is the question that actually defines these 4 categories of interviews, right? So the goal, the purpose of the interview defines this classification, these 4 types. And as you can see, the yellow arrow on the right, we are starting at a macro scale, so very, very high level, high perspective. We do not know yet who our customer may be, who our target may be. And we are going down to defining the problem, to then thinking of a solution, so problem-solution fit, and optimization interview, solution interview and optimization interview once we have the solution already used by target users. Right, so customer interview is giving us answers to who the customer is and how should we create value for them, right? So for example, if you have a flower shop, how would you know who your target market is? A flower shop here in Wrocław. How would you know who is your target audience and customers? Research personas. Value proposition in Canvas. Maybe you have also heard about this too. Observation, yes. So testing on getting out of the door and testing with just watching, yes. Just watching who's coming and why, and maybe also talking to them, right? Maybe also talking to them. All right, problem interviews show you or help you identify the problems. So not the people, but the problems that you are trying to or hoping to solve. So root causes, triggers, priorities of a problem space. Why is it important to understand the problem well? To build the right product, yes, but if you do not have the problem defined well enough, what happens? You can fix it. Yes, you can. That's a real good answer. You cannot fix it. Sometimes the problem is not the right one that should be solved, right? So when you're talking to users, sometimes they have a lot of problems, and your task is to understand the one that's most painful, right? The one that is worth solving for the users. And in some cases, the problem that they are willing to pay for, right? For solving a problem. All right, solution interview tells you which solution, which app, which physical thing will help the user fix the problem, right? It's a no-brainer here. And optimization interview is normally carried out after the product is already on the market and in use, and you want to learn if there are any unmet needs, if there are any friction points, if you can optimize, if you can add some missing features, right? Create some additional value for the user. All right, so this is just briefly, and now moving over to customer interview. So as we said, customer interview helps you identify and understand the motivations, the behaviors, the context early on, and especially getting to know the context is really important. So I don't know if you ever heard the story about McDonald's milkshake. Anyone heard about this? Okay, so there was a story that there was a McDonald's somewhere in Canada or US, and they wanted to increase sales. And they noticed that people who drive to the city center stop, and they wanted to increase this specific customer base, because they have seen that the sales peak was the highest in the morning when people were driving to work, and then in the afternoon they were going back to work. And they observed, they tested, and they talked to actual customers why they are buying specific products and why they did it, because they put a lot of offers for the customers, so burgers, fries, wraps, etc. But none of these products really caught on, and only after they talked to the customers, they realized that the customer needs something that fits in the car. Okay, so something that will not spill ketchup on you, or something that will fit, that is like fits well enough in the car cup holder. And this is why they decided they need shakes, milkshakes, right? So they introduced a line of milkshakes, and something that was fluffy enough, tasty enough, and it was enough to feed the person for 15-20 minutes drive to the city. I encourage you to watch this story somewhere on the internet, because it's really interesting. All right, so when do we perform those customer interviews? Of course, very early on in the process, right? This is the most important question to answer. So who is having the problem? Who could be our customer group before even a specific problem is defined? Okay, so going down to the interview itself, what would you ask about if you want to get your customer? Would you ask them, okay, I'm thinking of this product, and would you buy it? Is it a good question? No. Why?
If you start with the solution.
Yes. And theoretical, so it's really bad. Yeah, so here we want to know the context, their life as much as we can. We want to ask questions about past behaviors, past experiences, right? So tell me about the last time you used a similar product, right? So you also want to understand how they are solving the problem or overcoming the problem right now, what they are doing, what kind of challenges they are facing. Or, for example, what was the hardest part of completing this, or buying this, or performing some actions. And there are also some basic mistakes that you can make here. So, for example, as I said, asking hypothetical questions, right? So imagine you are Marcin Hyła, and then what you will do, right? Or only future-focused questions, or talking about hypothetical behaviors or typical behaviors. So using always, using never, using often, this will not give you good insights. And also leading participant with biased questions, but this is a mistake that you can do in all the interviews that you conduct, right? Leading the user or biasing the user, and I will show you in some time how bad this can go. All right, so here are some bad examples, bad questions, especially for you. Do you think this is a good idea? That's not a good question, right? Do you spend a lot on grocery? Why is this a bad question? Because it's a closed question, yes. Do you think you have this problem? That's really also nice. Do you think you have this problem? Yes. All right. Or would you find this helpful if I sold this product to you? What's the problem with this question?
Of course, yes. No.
Of course. And it's also suggesting things to the user, right? This is something that we want to avoid. Okay. How much would you pay for this product is also a very bad question. All right. And again, also making a lot of assumptions in interviews, right? So this is something that I already told you at the beginning. If you talk to the stakeholders, they know much better than the users sometimes. If I were our teenage girl target, I would love our new product. You would also love it, right? Okay, have you actually talked to any to make sure what? Exactly. All right, so what good questions can we ask at a customer interview? Can you describe a typical day, right? Can you describe how you solve this problem? What kind of process you follow, for example, right? Who is involved in making the buying decision in your family or in your business? And then following up with deeper questions, right? So what is this process like? Or for example, what goals are you hoping to achieve with this? So it is asking about the job to be done. Who is familiar with job to be done concept? Some people are good. All right. So these are examples of good questions. Okay. Enough, or do you have some more power to listen to problem interview now? Yes? No? Yes? No? Yes. Okay. Problem interview. I will just take a sip of water. All right. Problem interview. Problem interview focuses, as I said, on identifying and validating users' pain points, frustrations, and unmet needs. We conduct regularly user interviews in Sportradar, at least my team, and that was the funniest moment when we had our first interview with our a set of team leads, our internal team leads, because we have external users and internal users, and that was the first time since 15 years when someone asked them about their pains. So the list was, imagine, very long, right? So very, very long and full of frustrations. Right, and why is it also crucial is that it prevents building solutions for non-critical issues. So this is something that I already told you earlier, that usually there are a lot of pain points and usually there are a lot of frustrations. And it is also your task during interview to understand how painful it is, how critical it is, how serious it is, right? So we want to solve, most of all, the most critical pain points for the users. And if you follow all the famous product discovery coaches, they would always tell you that that development teams should focus on solving real problems, right? Real problems worth solving. So worth solving meaning they are painful enough, the users are willing to pay for them, right? Okay, and when do we conduct problem interviews? Of course, after the customer interview, right? And once we have our target market, our customers identified, to validate biggest problems that actually need solving. Good question types here. We want to explore specific challenges and specific frustrations You want to go really down with the users. So you can ask them, okay, show me what's not working. Show me how you're doing it now. What do you find the most difficult in this? What is the most frustrating for you? Or describe a recent time you faced this problem, right? And you can get a lot of insights from this, especially if you have a frustrated user. Right, so here your focus should be detailed and story-based questions about real pain points, about how users have tried to solve them. Even if you're swimming in a blue ocean, are you familiar with the concept of blue ocean? Okay, so even if you're swimming in a blue ocean strategy, and you think that you have no competitors, there always is a competitor to your product that you're about to build. What is it?
Not solving the problem.
Yes, not solving the problem. And what else? The current situation of the user, right? The current situation of the user. So they are dealing with the problem for some time. They are somehow fixing it, maybe having some workarounds, and it is a solution for them. And this is a solution you are also competing against. And this is also what you need to understand here. All right. So good questions that you can ask here is, tell me about a recent time you struggled with cleaning after your cat, for example. Or, what are the biggest frustrations you encounter when trying to solve this? Or, have you tried to address and fix this issue before? Right? And what happened? How are you helping yourself? How are you trying to overcome this? And you can, of course, always ask bad questions. I'm talking a lot about bad questions because this is what I have seen a lot in my life when I was also facing other interviews. I was also a member of Product Discovery Practitioners Fellowship in Berlin and with product people. And they also shared bad question examples they have asked over their career, and there is always a lot. All right, so fluffy questions are really bad. Fluffy questions leading to generic answers, containing words like usually, always, never, might have, could have, right? So we are here like moving into the probability somewhere, not stable on the ground, so we don't want it. Have you ever considered this? It's also hypothetical, right? Hypothetical questions are not good. Leading, biasing the user to confirm or to believe in the problem we want to solve. This is a nice one, right? So you already know the problem. You already understand before the user even realizes what problem you want to solve, and you are conducting the interview in such a way that he believes this is really the problem. So you might watch for not doing this. And this is also the yellow sentence is really important, and this is what I have learned over the years, that product opportunities or really good insights, like real gold, they don't live in the usually, they live in the specifically. So learning about specific situations, about specific incidents the user has experienced. This is what gives you the best insights. All right, and this is about biasing the users, of course. Product managers are always right. True or not? This is how they think, at least some of them. All right. Solution interview. Do you have enough energy to listen about solution interview? Yes? Okay, not bad. All right. This is just for a diversion here. I was planning here that you will be already slightly tired, but you are not. Good. All right. So solution interview here. We are thinking already, we have some kind of solution already, right? So either a prototype or maybe a sketch or maybe a AI prototype or maybe even an MVP. And we want to test whether we are thinking in the right direction, right? If we understood the users correctly and their goals, their desires and motivations. So we want, so solution interview helps us understand this, right? To make sure that we actually address user problems and meet their expectations. From the business point of view, because there is also business involved here, we want to reduce risk, right? So we want to reduce risk by already like validating with the users if we are building the right thing, because we can of course never talk to them, right? And we are building a platform for 2 million euro, for example, and after we launch, we discover that most of the features are not used because they are not useful for the users. This is not what they wanted, right? I had a funny example here. We were once working for a Saudi Arabian client, and it was like an educational information product. And his idea was to build an interactive map with scrolling up and down that would show you all the businesses in the area. So basically, if you live in Krakow, in Saudi Arabia, of course, then you can check out all the local shops, all the local businesses, and everything on a map. And of course, it was very difficult to build, right? It took a lot of time. And we were like questioning, does it really make sense? Because none of the users ever mentioned it, but the stakeholder on the client side said they need it, so we built it. And then after we launched, no users came to this feature. And after 2 months, there were also no users. And 3 months, also no users. We used this against the stakeholder, this information. So we showed him the data. We also calculated how much he spent on this feature, and then he took product discovery seriously from this moment on, when he saw how much money they spent on unnecessary feature. All right, so we want to reduce risk, business risk, by catching mismatches early on and guiding design improvements, or even like everything improvements, right? It doesn't have to be design. And we conduct the user interview, of course, after we understand the problem and we already build the solution. It can be a sketch, a prototype, a description. And you can validate this early product concept in many, many ways. It doesn't have to be an interview, but it could also be an interview. How many or what other early product concept validation techniques do you know? What? POCs, but not only. POC is only one of the validation techniques. Yeah, POCs. Mm-hmm.
Pilots, POCs, some, you create like a basic tools like sketch.
Like MMPs, MVPs. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Wizard of Oz, etc., etc. Here I can recommend a book, Validating Business Ideas or Testing Business Ideas by Strategizer. Really great book. And can give you a lot of ideas, especially if you work on a digital product, where I think we are quite limited in, or our thinking is quite limited. So we only think, okay, landing page, POC, prototype, A/B testing, and that's it. There is many more. So you can check this out. Okay, and good question types here. We want to ask the users about perceived value, usability, reactions to what we are showing them. So you can ask, for example, how would you use this, right? How would you use this solution? How do you see using this? In what situations would you use it? Or also ask them how would it fit in their processes, in their workflows? What works, what doesn't work? What they don't like, what they like, right? And also willingness to adopt, though it's of course tricky because people tell you different things and they do it differently. All right, and common mistakes that you can make here is pitching rather than asking. What does it mean, pitching rather than asking? Selling, yes. Selling, exactly. So you're not there to really understand how the user reacts, but you want to persuade them that it's great, right? All right, leading questions again. Leading questions toward positive feedback. Failing to listen because you are presenting, you are selling, you are pitching, so you are not really interested what the user wants to say. Especially, you don't want to listen to hesitations or to concerns or to things that they say, this is not what we wanted, or this is completely not what we wanted. You misunderstood. Not allowing the users to interact with the concept independently, because they can only interact in the way that you tell them to, right? This is also a huge mistake. Okay, good questions. Good questions. After seeing this prototype, what are your first thoughts? Or when would you use this? Or how do you see using it to reach your goals? Or what would you change or add to make it fit your needs? What is missing? Why is it missing? If the solution didn't exist, what would you do instead? All right. And this is again showing you that it's a dangerous thing not to talk to the users, right? All right. Optimization interview. We are almost at the end, guys. And there will be the workshopping session, and I also have some really bad fun questions for you, for us to go over and discuss together. All right, optimization interview collects insights from current users, right? Current users, to discover usability issues, to refine features. Though I hate this word features, but everyone uses it, so I'm using it too. To increase satisfaction, to enable continuous product improvement and retention. And this is also a challenge for some of us who work, for example, in corporate world, and products in corporate world sometimes are projects, right? So there is a project, there is a delivery date, Q4 2026, it's shipped, and what happens?
Things can happen, everybody can forget about it, or want to cut the costs.
Yes, and maintenance only. Maintenance only. But it's done, right? The project is delivered and the team can do different things, right? So continuous product development is a challenge in some of corporate worlds. And also this continuous product improvement then is a problem, right? Because what you should do is you should develop the product further. You guys are probably familiar with the product life cycle. After the first MVP, there should be more, right? In project thinking, it's not like that. All right, so continuous product improvement. You want to get to know how they use it daily in their everyday life. What kind of bottlenecks they have? Are there any things that they do not understand? Some friction points, some efficiency barriers, and ideas for improvement. This is great. This is what I'm actually doing right now with my team, because we have launched a first version of the product in August, and since then we are running the interviews, the testing on a regular basis. Next we will be having observation sessions. So we basically sit next to our users and see how they complete their tasks. You can also say it's an optimization interview if you interrupt them, right? All right, so your optimization interview, when is it used? You already know that it's used after the initial product launch and active use of the product. Good questions that we can ask here is, what functions do you use most and why? Which features, which parts of the product are most valuable for you and why? What annoys you the most? What irritates you? What is frustrating for you now, and why? And the best if they show you, right?
Is there something you wish took fewer steps or was more intuitive? Really good questions. All right. Bad questions in general. This is the most funny part. All right. Pink color improves the user's impression of the brand, right? Why is this bad? Why is it a bad question? It's a leading question, right? It's a bias, and user is who? User is not a designer. He doesn't know if pink really improves the impression, right, of the product or of the brand. How much do you love our new interface? That's a great question. All right, which features do you need in the product?
It's a question for the product.
Yes, after the insights are gathered and after the interview is done. Exactly. So translating the needs and the insights into features, yes. All right, so which features do you need in the product is a bad question because the focus should be on user problems and not the features, right? We want to understand not what they want or what they need because they may have no clue, but what their problems are. And they are not a fairy to tell you what features they need. Don't you agree that this new feature is much better than the old one? You agree that this is better than the old one, right? Yes, so this is of course a leading question. It's suggesting the answer to the user. And why are these questions dangerous, like from psychological point of view? Do you know why? They will not learn anything new. Yes, they will not learn anything new, but also when you're talking to someone, to the users, like the natural tendency of a human being is to be nice to the person they are speaking to. So of course they would say, yes, it's much better. You must find this part of the process confusing, right? This is also a great question. So bad in so many ways. Yes, so there is a bias. It's a leading question, of course. All right. I think we had yes. One more slide. Is the navigation intuitive and design appealing? It's a double-barreled question, right? That's the biggest problem with it, that you are asking about two different things in this question, so it's very difficult to answer. Was it easy to find the information and complete the purchase? It's the same, right? Same double-barreled question. We don't know how even to answer this. How would you fix this part of the app? That's also a very nice question and a widely used one. Okay, so it's jumping ahead. It's not asking about solution, right? Itself, but it's really bad. Should we make the button red or blue? What do you think, red or blue? Again, the user is not a designer, right? It's our team's task to decide what's better for the user, red or blue, and why. But it's not, user doesn't know, right? If yes, there is. It's controversial. I can see. Yes.
How would you phrase this question?
I wouldn't ask about the color at all.
Cannot you ask, for example, like which button appeals to you more and show two options?
You can do testing, like for example, heat maps, or you can just see what they are using. You can A/B testing. You can do. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but I think also the target audience needs to be surveyed because, for example, a lot of I think maybe 8% of males are in color blind when it comes to certain colors like red and green. I think, yeah.
Yes, exactly. Yeah, we have a really nice help in one of our teams that we are like working next to us. There is a guy who has a really bad eyesight, and he gives us great feedback concerning accessibility, visibility of things, and yes, that's really important.
A good question here would be something like, what catches your attention on stage?
Could be. Especially if you're doing usability testing, right? During usability test, yes. All right, since you're a busy professional, how do you manage your time? What's wrong about this question? Because it seems it seems okay, right? It seems okay. But what's wrong with it? You're assuming something, right? You're assuming you're busy. And maybe they're not busy. Okay, so just to close the session together with you, we have some key takeaways. So just briefly, customer interview identifies who the user is, who the customer is. We will learn about their general needs, background, motivations, and context. Sorry, I just jumped too fast. Problem interview digs deeply into what specific pain points or challenges our users face and what makes their work, their life experience or job hard or frustrating, and we want to understand it, right? All right. Solution interview. Solution interview is already testing whether we are thinking in the right direction. We are testing maybe a prototype, a concept, a design, or a sketch, and we want to see if it actually addresses users' needs, right? And how attractive it is. And optimization interview, we want to understand how we can improve the product by focusing on efficiency, usability, and improving the areas that are already there. All right. And things to remember and to avoid, right? This is the most important thing that I think is worth remembering. Customer interview. The worst thing you can do is assuming needs without validation, so knowing better, right? Or listening to stakeholders or to your CEOs, or asking only hypothetical questions, because then you will learn nothing about the user. That's real life. Problem interview. If you're suggesting solutions too early, this is a mistake. If you miss deep exploration of the problems, you do not really get to understand the problems deeply, this is a mistake. In solution interview, if you're a salesman instead of a product person, so you're pitching instead of listening, you ignore real user feedback because you don't like it in favor of expected answers, this is also a mistake, don't do that. And optimization interview, if you overlook nuanced feedback, because this is also what I told you in the yellow line, right? That the true product insights do not lie in the usually or always, but in specifically, right? In very specific situations or cases. So overlooking nuanced feedback, changing features without understanding real user friction, this is also a mistake. Thank you. It was great spending this hour and something with you.